Time for some bees in my hair. They did go with the world tour stuff. This is usually how they introduce a character, right? She actually has some clothes on. Oh, I like the effect on her move though. Every character has like a unique style with the effects, right? I like the color scheme of that. Wait, are we getting Solar Eclipse back? With the hippos? We're not, right? Solar Eclipse was the best stage in Street Fighter 4, okay? But maybe it's like something similar. Okay, I mean, we're not seeing a lot. I mean, it's just the teaser from the World Tour, right? But yeah, we finally got the trailer. You know, at this point, I think a lot of people are just, I mean, might as well go with this, right? Like, a lot of people have been asking for the teaser, and we've been really confused about this for so long because Capcom would traditionally introduce the next character like that, like the teaser trailer from the World Tour at Capcom Cup, and this time around we just didn't get that. So a lot of people were confused what was going on, and nothing was really going on. It seems like the only reason to wait was potentially because of the Switch 2 announcement, but even then it didn't make any sense because the Switch 2 didn't really show anything new. It didn't focus on Street Fighter. It didn't show anything Elena related, so they could have just shown the Elena teaser at Capcom Cup, right? So I'm really confused about that. I looked up Akuma, by the way. I just looked up just to know whether I'm going crazy or not, okay? Akuma did end up getting shown for the first time. I think it was March 11th or so. I mean, maybe you guys can correct me. That was at Capcom Cup, right? That was probably at Capcom Cup. Anyways, like, Akuma was introduced or shown for the first time, like, way ahead of the release, okay? At the end of May, Akuma was released. So there was no reason, really, for Capcom to be like, hey, we're going to be changing it up. The release date for Elena is almost the same, like 1 week after Akuma was released, right? So they could have shown her at Capcom Cup. So I think it just leaves me and maybe a lot of you guys just confused about her. Her release is very late spring. Yeah, but it's always like that. When Capcom says spring, it really feels like summer, right? When they say winter for Capcom means March, okay? When I'm thinking of winter, I'm not thinking March. But yeah, I mean, this has always been a Capcom thing, okay? When Capcom says, oh, fall of 2025, it's probably around Christmas time when you'll see the character. Just think about that. But that's not even the problem. The problem is really just why did Capcom wait for so long? Like, I was expecting there's going to be some kind of surprise. They're going to be showing some kind of content. But no, nothing. There was just nothing. Like, everybody, like, a lot of people, like, content creators were making fun of that. Like, who was, like, a Rufamonger, right? Who said that, like, every day he basically had, like, a tweet out saying that today is the day we're going to be seeing Elena, for sure. And, like, every single day, just as a joke at that point, right? And yeah, I agree. It was kind of a joke at the end of the day. Now, what bothers me even more, it's not actually just Elena or, like, what she's going to look like. We knew what she's going to look like for a while now, because you can see pictures of her and her new outfit. So that's not a surprise. But what is a surprise is the fact that apparently we're not going to be seeing a Season 3 patch before EVO Japan. Now, this is not confirmed at this point, but This is usually how Capcom does this. We are probably going to be getting a patch with the release of Elena. I'm expecting it that way. But maybe they're going to be doing something completely different. I don't know. And if that happens, that would actually mark the first time that Capcom is not releasing a balance patch before the next season starts. So the first tournament in Season 3 will actually be played on the previous version. Very confusing. Like, imagine you qualify for Capcom Cup, and you will qualify for Capcom Cup if you win EVO Japan. But imagine you're winning on a completely different version. Like, just imagine you win with, let's say, Mai. Mai is currently very, very strong. And then, like, the balance patch happens after you qualify for Capcom Cup, and she gets completely obliterated. It's probably not going to happen, but that would be so odd, right? Like, imagine you win with the character and you want to prepare for Capcom Cup, and usually you want to prepare for Capcom Cup with the version or almost the same version that you're going to be playing at Capcom Cup. That's not going to happen this time around, unless Capcom is going to go full 200 IQ and they're going to be like, we're not going to be changing anything. Season 3 patch? What is that? Now, I don't think that's going to happen, okay? There's going to be a Season 3 patch, almost certainly. But it's just so confusing. It's so confusing. We're probably, for the first time ever, seeing a Season 3 tournament with the Season 2 version. This discrepancy has never existed before. But at the same time, I mean, if Capcom was like, okay, we're not going to be changing the time frame of the balance patch, but EVO Japan has to happen before that, well then, I'm still kind of happy that EVO Japan does get you qualified for Capcom Cup. Wasn't like the year that Mena RD won EVO Japan, wasn't that the year where he almost missed his qualification for Capcom Cup? Maybe that actually was the inspiration to change things up, because it's kind of silly to win such a large tournament and not qualify for Capcom Cup. Like, Mena RD, like, it really showed that, like, there needed to be a point system, right? That was basically missing back then. And Mena RD went, like, second at every possible tournament where he could have qualified, and almost didn't make it to Capcom Cup as a result. That would have felt so wrong. So, in the end, I'm kind of happy that EVO Japan is a qualification spot for Capcom Cup. But it's so odd. It's still so odd. We still know nothing about Season 3. The Season 3 tournament will probably happen without any kind of news regarding Season 3. Okay. I mean, probably what they're going to be doing is they're probably going to be announcing the Season 3 content at EVO Japan. At that point, nothing else makes sense, right? We're like 1 month away from EVO Japan. And also my birthday, by the way. EVO Japan will happen on my birthday. So I'll maybe consider that a birthday gift from Capcom, finally knowing what Season 3 has to offer. At least that's my expectation. We'll talk about that again in a month, okay? I'll probably get disappointed, right? Hopefully not. We haven't even gotten to Season 2. I mean, I haven't really talked about that much because I think it should be kind of obvious. I said that before. The reason, I've considered this option that they're going with right now, literally starting Season 3 without Season 2 content being released. I said that's probably a no-go, and a lot of people said that that can't happen. Like, that was not even a possibility in some people's heads that this could have happened. But here we are. That's very likely going to happen. I mean, certainly it will happen because the Season 3 tournaments will start without Season 2 content being released. Very, very odd. And I really wonder, like, isn't this like, I mean, if you're really going harsh on Capcom, you could say this is a scam. I mean, most people are not going to see it that way because if you paid for Season 2, you are getting Season 2 content 100%, right? But like, it opens the door for, hey, we'll charge you guys right now, and when and if we'll release the content that we promised, like the time frame is completely variable. We can start the next year, the next season for the esports side and the content side, that can get stuck. Like there's no correlation anymore, right? I think that's really dangerous to do that. I think a lot of people, if they paid for season 2, they're kind of expecting season 2 to get released within season 2. Does that make sense? Is that unreasonable? I think that's reasonable, right? I mean, I think, from my personal opinion, by the way, I think if you're going to be charging a season pass or like a character pass for a season, the characters, all of the characters that are released should actually be playable at Capcom Cup. That's my opinion, because like, okay, you're tying the esports side. Usually you're tying, and let's be real, EVO Japan is just an outlier. You're still tying the esports side and the content side. They're tied together. But at Capcom Cup, you're not going to be able to see the characters that are going to be last on the content side. You know, Akuma was impossible to see in season 1. Was he a season 1 character? Season 1, yeah, it must have been a season 1 character, of course, because that was last year, right? So he was a season 1 DLC character, but impossible to see at Capcom Cup season 1. So I think Capcom should really reconsider how they're doing the content, because this is just not, this is not it. This is not good. I mean, I made a video about this before. I still believe the only reason why we're seeing this weird content, like holding back on content as much as Capcom is with Street Fighter 6, the only reason why this is probably happening is Monster Hunter Wilds. I've speculated before that Monster Hunter Wilds probably used up like almost the entirety of the Street Fighter 6 development team, because they needed internal developers, because it needed to be from the RE engine. So this could not be outsourced. And now that the game is released, Monster Hunter Wilds is released, they're probably going back now to Street Fighter. So hopefully by next year, I mean, if this year is not going to be a big content push for Capcom for Street Fighter, at the very last, it has to be next year, right? It's a bit late now. I mean, I think this is one of the weirdest way to mess up a successful release, you know? Capcom with Street Fighter 5 had such an awful release and needed to regain a lot of trust with patches. The Season 1 characters in Street Fighter 5 were basically for free with fight money, readily available, easily available back then. And with Street Fighter 5, it's the complete opposite. You had a great launch, and then you were like, yeah, that's it, no more content. So yeah, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of Elena? What do you guys think of this whole weird situation with Capcom? What is the plan? What is the plan? What is your expectation? Like, what do you think of like this discrepancy between seasons when it comes to the esports side and the content side? Should they have just released Elena earlier? Should they have shown her earlier? What's the reason for Capcom Cup not being the place to show Elena? I think that's a big question mark that is still not answered. It just doesn't make any sense the way they did that. The Switch 2 announcement really didn't have anything to do with Elena. Elena was not a focus whatsoever. Like, you could see her in a picture, but you could have literally announced Elena at Capcom Cup, shown the teaser, get people excited, and then do the Switch 2 announcement the same way you did it. There was nothing. There was just nothing there. And I'm just confused about that. But yeah, let me know. What do you guys think? In the comments below.